All right, so we're jumping into CityCoins. That could be the next phase for the cryptocurrency landscape. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to Tech Path. Let's dive into it today. And of course, the big city on the map, of course, our own home city is Miami. And the launching of the MiamiCoin, MIA, is going to be a real thing. This is something that's coming fast. And of course, here's the story from Decrypt. They broke it basically out that the MiamiCoin is going to be used for not only helping infrastructure and support kind of the city side of it from a municipality, but it's also going to have a component of rewarding users. So let me jump to this, and there is some pretty good detail of this around both mining and also how this is going to be utilized in terms of funding infrastructure and the events in the city itself. So lots happening here. I think this is a very interesting aspect. When you look at the city of Miami, there's two things happening here. One is that we've got a huge tech community that has really kind of exploded in the past 2 years. And then the crypto community has really coalesced to become, mainly I think because of Mayor Suarez, who is pretty much behind this, but also the number of investors and players that are kind of really just migrated to the city of Miami, and it's become a mecca for Bitcoin and in general cryptocurrency. So a lot happening. Doesn't surprise me to see this. I want to jump to this CityCoins website. They have a lot of detail on where this is going, but essentially you're going to be able to get to this on August 3rd. Interesting that this is the day before the London hard fork, but August 3rd, and then a little bit about how it works and also what you'll be able to do with it. So let me kind of zoom in on this. So you'll be able to mine this by forwarding STX into a CityCoin smart contract on the Stacks protocol. So this is going to be interesting to see with that kind of application use. It is going to be selected randomly, so you'll be able to win this. It's weighted by a total of the stacks that are spent, and then you get the coins. And then, of course, you can yield them on a return with Bitcoin. Let's go over here and look at where it's kind of going when you look at stacking CityCoins. It can be locked in the Stacks protocol for a voluntary period of time. So you yield it as a reward. And then, of course, you've got this potential for estimated STX APY based on the performance, and then also the estimated Bitcoin APR or APY at 10%. So this could be very interesting, because when you look at that kind of application, especially if Miami can figure out a way to integrate this into other things within the city, and that could be everything from transportation, events, maybe even the nightlife, and of course the tourism aspect of where Miami is and how that might potentially affect. The other thing too, I want to kind of jump down into just some general aspects. MiamiCoin provides an ongoing crypto revenue stream for the city while generating STX and BTC yield for MIA holders. So you're going to be able to essentially yield right off of this. It can be mined or bought by individuals who want to support, obviously, the Magic City is the name, kind of the code name for Miami, and earn yield in crypto from the Stacks protocol. So that's cool. The other thing, they're not really partnered up with CityCoins, which is the website that kind of is tracking this, which I think is a good thing, because we'll start to see more and more cities moving in, municipalities moving into this direction. 30% of the STX that miners forward in order to compete in the earning of MiamiCoin will go directly to the wallet reserved for the city. So that goes into the treasury. So the likelihood is this is how it kind of came about, is almost a Patreon aspect of this, in a way that where you're paying that creator, or the creator's paying you in this kind of scenario. What is the MiamiCoin treasury? How can Miami use its treasury? So 30%, as I said, forwarded to the miners. It is going to be interesting here, because whenever the city wishes, they can access the reserved STX. So they could take it at a point where valuation is higher, and obviously the valuation conversion is going to be higher, much like what you would do when you're getting paid in some sort of cryptocurrency, like a Bitcoin. Right now, we take Bitcoin, with some of our sponsors and programs like that, because the valuation we think is going to be going up. Developers can create apps that use MiamiCoin for access control for both digital and or physical spaces, trading, lending, smart contracts, etc. This is where it's going to get fun, because I think this is going to get a lot of developers involved, especially in the sense that we have some ecosystem here. That is probably going to open this up to some very innovative and creative ideas on how to potentially utilize and get moving on this. So let's see, where can you get this? Miami is going to be available on exchanges shortly after mining begins, and rewards are going to be generated. And of course, they're going to update us when it becomes available on the trusted exchanges. I like to see this on some of the big ones. I think it could make it onto them, depending on how this rolls out and where it might be going. I want to jump to this other story, and that is Seoul to launch their own cryptocurrency. This is by 2022. It's called the S-Coin. So this is coming. Another big city that could be really kind of moving into place. They're using it for some interesting aspects. So the first stage of the S-Coin will involve processing payments on public transportation, which is back to what I was talking about, is being able to utilize now. We don't have a huge public transportation here in the Miami area, but we do have the ecosystem when it comes to the aspect around tourism, which I think could really kind of come into play. But this, with the S-Coin, subways, buses, etc., then it's going to be given to their residents who do municipal services. So another way to pay people, which I think is going to be a big aspect. I like this approach with where Seoul is going with this, and it kind of shows the creativity that local municipalities, cities can really get into and create kind of a whole new area of both commerce, but also transaction protocols that are really kind of moving into this next generation of both investors, but also consumers and retail traders. For that point, is that it is kind of opening up your city as, I'll say, a forward-looking city, and I think that attracts a lot of startups. It attracts a younger crowd looking for, careers and education. It also attracts companies who are really trying to flock to these cities because of the forward thinking and the innovation that's happening. So, San Francisco was kind of like this, is like this when it comes to the tech community. I think Miami has kind of pretty much positioned itself very strategically for how cryptocurrency could be exploding, and Miami could be the epicenter of where this is going to happen. So being here in the city of Miami, we're going to try to bring you as much update on this, because I think this is going to have a big effect across the country, especially in the forward-thinking cities, that it will have an effect. I'm surprised that the next move here, I think, would be Florida in general, because I think if we get the state government involved on this, this could be a complete new angle of how states and municipalities could work together in utilizing the blockchain for different kinds of innovations. There's so many things that this could hit on, huge, but I'd love to hear your ideas down in the comments below, how you might see a CityCoin or any kind of these municipalities and even states that could roll into this in the coming months, years, and how that might be able to help, because there's a lot here that could really take some innovation to the next level. I'd love to hear your ideas. Of course, if you're listening in over the podcast, the best thing to do is just give us some stars over there. We love that. If you're here on YouTube, make sure and like and subscribe to the show. And of course, always hit me up on Twitter @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.